and counting, because I'm not going to die tomorrow. Well, we never know. Popo, you don't kill me tonight, right? She's so not self-aware that she can be a killer and she doesn't know it. So, why am I saying this? Because my path in ISEC and the opportunity to get to 85 countries to live the life that I have right now, it doesn't come from mommy's and daddy's money. It comes from me, when I was sitting where you were sitting, understanding, shush, dude, this shit that you put yourself into when you join this crazy thing, whatever, because I didn't even know how to pronounce that stuff when I joined, this is cool. And I can take advantage of that for my own life. And as I have built that path through ISEC, I have been impacting many other people around me. But then the most important thing is also realize that I didn't learn that by myself. I learned that because other people before me were impacting me. So right now, nowadays, you guys in ISEC in India, you have a lot of things that I didn't have or we didn't have when we were there. Use them. It is for you. Yes, you service the APs, you service the trainees. Servicing them is part of becoming a better person. And it's part of growing in the process of doing that. If you don't see it that way, then you're wasting your time here. You're just coming here because it's nice and you meet other people, which means that you don't have fucking social skills and you need to be here in order to meet other people, so you're a fucking loser. Versus, I am here, I meet other people as a byproduct. This is really cool. I get to enjoy the parties, but I'm freaking growing. Because the promise of ISEC to the world is that we will deliver to the world those leaders that will make the change. That is the whole process. That is the whole promise of ISEC. And if you are not doing that to yourself, you do not deserve the right to wear that freaking t-shirt that says ISEC. Because you are dishonoring the same purpose of this organization. Having said so, how do I get there? I need to start focusing on my strengths over my weaknesses. A little bit of background there. Why do I need to focus on those strengths? This is simple stuff. Research published by Alex Kim Limley. You can Google that if you want. There is a huge research. It's boring as shit if you are not into reading research papers. So I'm going to summarize it in 3 little points. Number 1, you make more progress on your goals. If I focus on my strengths, I will make more progress on my goals. I want to graduate sooner, but I'm lazy in studying. What are my skills? What is my strength? My strength is I'm really good at communicating with other people and making other people do what I want them to do. Awesome. Then do not study. Sit with somebody that is a fucking lab rat of a library that knows everything, and you ask that person, so explain me the most important topics of this subject. And that person will explain it to you, and then you will pass the exam. That is betting on your strength. Is that making sense? So you will make more progress on your goals. Number 2, you make your basic psychological needs. And I will explain that later. It says autonomy, relatedness, and competence. You will feel more autonomous because you are depending less on people. You will feel that you can relate more to people. Why? Because there is a sense of self-confidence that comes along. Popo, self-confidence, baby, you see? And then competence. You feel that you are more competent. It's not that you are learning new things. It is that you are focusing on those things where you feel stronger, and that makes you feel more competent. The belief of being more competent is more important than being competent itself. Because when you are competent but you don't believe that you are competent, you double guess everything that you do even before you do it. And you become incompetent even if you are competent. But if you believe that you are competent, you will just jump in the water. I have a tattoo here that reads launch and learn, which is I just put it out there. It doesn't matter that it's not perfect, and I learn from it. I feel more competent. Ergo sum, I become more competent. And number 3, they were higher in overall well-being. People that focus on their strengths, they are overall better. And it says it's a combination of higher life satisfaction, higher positive emotions, and lower negative emotions. Physiologically speaking, people that focus on their strengths, they feel better. They don't need to go to the gym, but they will start walking more. But not because, oh, I need to walk more. They just walk more. You don't need to become a cricket freaky who plays cricket every day, or go swimming every day. Overall, focusing on your strengths will allow you to physically start feeling better. And because you feel better physically, your body asks you for activity. And then you will start dancing more, you will start walking more, you will start doing more things. You will start having better sex, by the way. You laugh at that, but there is research that proves that. And it's funny. You see, Popo, better sex. I don't know. So, moving from good, you're learning. So, using your strengths in a way that is conscious and consistent. Two key words, conscious, and number two, consistent. It is not, yes, I had this session and then I figured out what my strengths are, I am so happy, and you go back to do the same fucking shit that you have been doing. So it needs to be conscious, it needs to be a choice, you make the choice. I made the choice to realize I'm really good at this, I'm going to do more of this, I'm going to use more of this. Consistent. I'm going to put this in my calendar once a week, revisit this, how can I use this? You put in your calendar your meetings for other people, the meetings that waste your time, but you don't put appointments with yourself. You are the most important person in your life. Nobody else is. Not your boyfriend, not your girlfriend, if you get married, not even your kids are more important than you, because if you don't take care of yourself, you cannot take care of your kids. That's why when you are in a plane, they say, put your mask first, and then put the mask of other kids. Why? Because if you put the mask of the kid, and you don't put yours, most probably you will faint before you put the mask, and both of you are going to die. This is not being selfish, this is being practical. The more you love other people, the more you need to understand that real love is born from a person that can definitely love himself or herself. And that comes in a recognition of, this is what I'm good at. Because that connects me with self-confidence, with inner love. And I'm not talking about fluffy inner love. Let's hold hands and walk together towards the freaking, I don't know, unicorns pooping rainbows. I'm not talking about that kind of love. I'm talking about a consistent kind of love in which I look at myself in the mirror and I say, I like what I see. They can, focusing on strengths in that conscious way, in that consistent way, can, number one, buffer against, manage, and overcome problems. These are my problems, you buffer against them. You manage your problems easily, more easily. Why? It doesn't matter what, come, bring it on, bitch, I'm ready. That's what it will happen in your head. You will actually like them. Because suddenly, these problems are not going to be something that pushes you down, but something that encourages you to prove to yourself how freaking amazing you are. Number two, they improve your relationships, because I will be able to relate with other people better. Suddenly, I have something to share. Suddenly, I have the confidence to say, I don't know anything about that, tell me more. That's interesting, I want to know. And I don't have to hide behind, I don't know, oh my God, it's bad if I don't know. And number three, enhanced health and overall well-being, which I already expressed. This is just something that makes good sense. It's just practical sense. It's just no secret. But I wanted to give you that as the beginning. And it says personal strengths come naturally to us. They have been hardwired into you depending on your history and what has happened to you as a kid, etc., etc. And they are an expression of who you are, of who we are. But then the beautiful part is that when I allow that core part of myself to be expressed, what I'm allowing myself is I'm allowing myself to be. When I focus on my weaknesses and what I'm not good at, I'm not allowing myself to be. So I want to take this time to pass you through a simple process. Before that, one quote from Gary Smith that says, you learn from things that don't go well, which normally we do. If something doesn't go well, if you are smart enough, you tend to say, so it didn't go well, why? Because you want to learn from that. But the second part says, and you try to capitalize when they do. That is the problem. A lot of people have those moments like, where is my big brother Rahayan, whatever. I'm having problem with Rahayan, Ray. He had a fucking awesome, fantastic session yesterday, didn't he? And then he celebrates that he had a good time. What if he celebrates that and he doesn't sit to think why it went so well? Thank you so much, you can sit. most probably he will just repeat the same thing over and over again. He's not going to get any better. And it's going to eventually get boring for you because it's him doing the same shit again. But if when things actually go well, you also sit down and you say why this went well. And you crack the formula instead of repeating the same, then you grow. Otherwise it becomes a repetition. And then you get stagnant. Is that making sense to everyone? And then the quote says, you build on those strengths to get stronger on your weak aspects, instead of trying to get stronger in your weak aspects by working on your weak aspects. Where you put your attention, you grow. If you focus on overcoming some of your weaknesses will grow, because that is the only thing that will be on top of your mind the whole time. Now, how that works. In organizations, and this is the part in which I want to call the attention to ISF. In organizations, one of the things that is happening right now, it is that there is this common thing. I'm still waiting for you to show what is it that you're bringing to the table. And then I'm an LCP and I select my team, and then suddenly, why the fuck I selected you? I had these impressions of you, but I'm still waiting for you to bring that to the table. That kind of conversation is extremely damaging. It's the same in relationships. I get into a relationship, we like each other, and then let's start something, and then suddenly you are not bringing to the table anything. The relationship is gone. We lost respect, we lost trust. And then it says, and this is a long text, so I'm going to go there, I can't read it. A culture that shifts, because that change needs to happen, a culture that shifts from vigilance of what's wrong. And I have seen that a lot here in India. And I have been working with Isaac in India for almost 5 years already, so I know what I'm talking about. I think that I have been longer here than many of you for sure. It says, a culture that shifts from vigilance of what's wrong to what's strong, and nurtures the kind of trust that enables cross-communication, is critical to individual and collective sense of belonging and overall success. And that's what you want to create. You want to create an organization where people feel that they belong, and when there is overall success. Why that happen? Because there is cross-cultural communication that is real. That cross-cultural communication that is real cannot happen when I'm just looking and hunting for what's wrong. Because everybody's scared of making mistakes, and because everybody's scared of making mistakes, you stop doing shit. You stop doing shit because you don't want to make a mistake. You stop doing shit because you don't want to make a mistake, and your LCP looks at you with disappointment, and you say, I don't want to disappoint you. Because in your freaking culture, one of the things that is killing you is the fact that at home you don't want to disappoint parents. And then every level of authority that you observe, you don't want to disappoint that level of authority. I don't want to disappoint my team leader. What is the easiest thing to do? To do less. The less I do, the less chances I have to make a mistake, the less chances I have to disappoint you. Which is wrong, because at the end of the day, you are still disappointing overall. But that is what's happening. The culture needs to shift. The conversation needs to shift. And then it says, integration of individuals and their roles ensures that each person will be more likely to grow and manifest personal strengths. Your recruitment and selection process is flawed. One of the good news is that this next January, you are going to enjoy a whole new recruitment and selection process that is pointing on this. I'm working directly with Jasmine on creating this super cool launch will come later, but it is going to help you more on not only selecting the right people for what you need based on their strengths, but then allocate them based on their strengths properly. But the conversation needs to change, because if the system is there but the conversation is not changing, nothing will change. Is that making sense? Now, let's go personal. 3 things. Culture that nurtures trust. That is what it boils down to. And then is your LC having a culture that nurtures trust? Or is your LC having a culture in which you are scared of making a mistake? You are scared of saying, I fuck it up. And then you think that not speaking about the problem or the fucked up, it will make it disappear. It will not make it disappear, it will make it grow. And suddenly you're going to be so ashamed that you're going to run out. And you're going to miss the chance of growing inside Isaac. The culture needs to shift. Having said so, it says, if human beings are perceived as potentials rather than problems, as possessing strengths instead of weaknesses, as unlimited rather than dull and unresponsive, then they thrive and grow to their capabilities. This needs to be the belief. One of the beautiful things that I'm saying in this conference is that team leaders have been inserted into the whole creation of the strategy of ISEC in India for the next 4 years. That speaks about trust. If those changes are happening at the higher level, please cascade these changes into the local level. Because this is happening with you here at national level. This is not what TS do in ISEC in India. But you are doing it now. Go back down and you have to start empowering your members. But they don't know. Precisely because they don't know, they are not inside the box. Now, a personal exercise for you too. This is Popo every morning. So Popo, how to, yes, I know that you learned it from me, the good part. How to let go of your weaknesses. Because one of the points here, every time that I give a session about strengths and I tell people, let's focus on your strengths, people get stuck into, yes, but you know, you said I'm not outgoing and I think that that's a weakness, and they keep on going back to the weaknesses. I want you to understand how the flow in your head, the psychological process goes through. It goes like this. First, there is these shoulds or shoulders that you carry. I ought to do this, I had better done that. And then there are these, I should have done that, or I should have done this. Is that making sense? You are full of shoulds and shouldn'ts. You're full of them. They come from culture, they come from family, they come from upbringing, they come from school, and you're full of the things that you should do and you should not do. I should not stand up and speak my mind. Because people are going to look at me and think that I'm ridiculous. The becauses changes, but those shoulds become very generic. I should not make mistakes. And I understand that mistakes are a way of learning. You're folding your arms there. Good. Free those boobies. I should not make those mistakes. And I understand that making mistakes is not wrong, but still I have this, I should not make mistakes. The whole process starts there. This is how you nurture your weaknesses. I want you to understand that the nurturing of weaknesses starts with the shoulds and the shoulders. The second thing that happened then, it is that you feel guilty. Because I shouldn't have done that, but I did it. I shouldn't have drunk that much last night, but I did. You see that face and that, oh my God, I did that, and I know what you're talking about. You just fucking did it. At this moment when you made some mistakes, that is just a mistake, but the problem is that start carrying a feeling of guiltiness, of weakness, of laziness. I'm not strong enough. That's the whole summary. That guilt, oh, I fuck it up. How am I going to show my face? So I'm going to pretend that nothing happened, and I'm just going to walk through. What happened? Oh. And I'm going to take a shower and look good, so that nobody realizes how hungover I am. I'm going to put makeup, and then I'm super makeup. What you are doing right now is that you are experiencing feelings of guiltiness, of weakness, and of laziness. And what that says to you is, I'm not strong enough. I'm not strong enough to stay put. I'm not strong enough to be consistent, which was one of the two key words that I told you before. It was consistent, and the other one was conscious. I'm not strong enough to be conscious because in that moment I lose sight of how much I was drinking, and suddenly I woke up this morning and I don't know whose room is that. I heard laugh, that laugh is not being laughed, which means, yes, that happened to me. Popo, that's why you wake up every night in a different room. Good. It says, your lead did that to me. You see, that is when you blame. When you blame, you are discharging pain and discomfort. And Karen is super happy because today I'm taking it with Popo, not with Karen, right? You see, look, he's like, don't look at me, I don't exist. And what is Shen? Shen is pretending that he's having a conversation in the back because he knows too. I Justin Bieber wannabe. So, what happens after I experience the feelings of guilt, of weakness, of laziness, and this inner speech that says, I'm not strong enough. Not even I'm weak. And that's why it's becoming a paradigm, because it still has the word strong, but you don't say to yourself, I'm weak. What you say is, I'm not strong enough. I'm not there yet. What comes later is punishment. You punish yourself. There is this self-flagellation. How do you do that? Irritability. Don't come to me speaking like that. Why? Because that is a defensive mode. You want to push people away so that they don't enter into your little circle when you feel like shit. And one of the easiest ways is I push them away and I become a motherfucker, because when I treat you bad, then you go away and I have access to anger and I can blame you. But it's me. It's not you. And that's what we do. And you know that. But now you are seeing it in a flow. You know what is important about seeing things like this? That after you see things like this and I show you things like this, you cannot hide it anymore. And then you will or fix it, or you will feel even more guilty and more stupid. So I'm fucking you up somehow in this session. I like it. You see, Popo, that's what I do to you. It says sleeplessness. I stop sleeping. I start feeling depressed, restlessness. I become this person that I cannot be with myself, and then I need to be with other people. The typical person like, oh, I had this beautiful relationship and I broke up, oh my God, I'm going to die. Next day he has another boyfriend or another girlfriend. There are these people that cannot be by themselves, and it comes from this. I cannot be alone. And then as soon as I'm alone in my room, I need to text someone. And then there is a relief that you get from drinking, from partying, from doing other things, from distracting, and then you follow again into the shoes or shoulders. And that goes again and again and again, and as it goes again and again and again, it gets stronger and stronger. The only thing that is getting stronger is the sense that I'm not strong enough. Are we on the same page now? So I have to ask a question, because I don't really understand how are we doing with the agenda. I need to know exactly what is my ending time. 15 minutes more. So I'm going to risk it here by giving you some time for conversation in pairs. Is that cool? Because I think that will help even more. How? Here. The ultimate goal of breaking this intrapersonal conflict. Can you see that this is a conflict? And can you see that this conflict is happening inside you? So the best way of doing that is to create a sense of personal power. Instead of saying, I'm not strong enough, is I'm freaking powerful enough in order to break this. Being able to focus on one strength, to analyze, choose and act, whatever you're going to do. So 3 steps, really simple, and I'm going to put them there with questions. The first one is to identify these interjected values. Why they are called interjected values? Because they were fucking put into you without you knowing. It's like you are a fucking machine, and somebody put you a fucking memory stick, and that memory stick has, boom! Nobody brainwashed you. It was the repetitiveness of that message that stopped there. Is that making sense? It is the one that comes from a family in which dad hits mom every day. That is not right, but it becomes normal. And you will never accept it, but you will carry that with you and it will affect you somehow. That is an interjected value. And it can go in different directions. It can be in the direction of I'm a complete feminist because women should not be hit, or I'm scared all the time, or things will happen because of these historical moments. And that's why they are called interjected values. You didn't choose to develop them. They happened to you. They were inserted into you. So, what are my shoulds and shouldn'ts, and where do they come from? One part of the conversation that I want you to have, it is in that pair. One is going to be sharing, and the other one is going to be listening and asking deeper questions, because we don't have enough time for having both ways conversations. And let's focus on these shoulds and shouldn't that you bring into ISF. I should not challenge what my leaders say. I should not make mistakes. I should not do this. What are those shoulds or shouldn'ts that you're bringing into your local committee work? Number 2, what you do is that you identify your own needs and your own choices. Is this should really something that I want to do? Because most probably it's going to be no, but you have to say it. No, I don't want to do this. But then the next part is, what do I want to do? And that is what it boils down to. You are scared of actually not knowing what is it that you want to do. And then you allow that thing that you don't want to do to keep on being done. Is that making sense what I just saying? I can repeat that. It's important. And the number 3 is identify your own path. What is keeping me from doing this, from stopping doing this and starting doing what I want to do? Number 2, do I want to give that shit up that is not working for me? Or do I want to believe that this is who I am? Because that is another choice that you have. I cannot force you to have the choice of change. No, I'm okay with this. So I'll stay there, but it has to be a conscious choice. I say consciousness. And number 3, what strengths will I focus on now to start behaving the way that I want to behave? So I'm going to give you 5 minutes in pairs. Use the time to the best of your ability. I know there is not enough time, but I think that starting the practice is what matters at this moment of time. I cannot do much in 35 minutes. That is your 5 minutes, and then I wrap up.